The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, make sure y'all smash that like button. Let's talk about the Andy Ruiz Jr. Chris Arreola fight. As you guys can see, it is going to be a momentous occasion. PBC pay-per-view. Andy Ruiz, Chris Arreola, May 1st. Now, should it be pay-per-view? Absolutely not. But it's pay-per-view. They got Omar Figueroa against Abel Ramos on the card. They got welterweight prospect Jesus Ramos taking on Javier Molina, which is not a bad fight. And they got Fundora versus Cota. So it's not the worst card we've ever seen in the world, but is it pay-per-view? Absolutely not. But, you know, we're in a pandemic, so to speak, so everything pay-per-view. You know, these promoters are trying to find extra ways to make money. And if they got to charge you pay-per-view, then so be it. That's where we're at in boxing right now. But let's talk about the matchup itself. Let's talk about this fight and what it really means. Because, you know, when this fight was first announced, I wasn't the most excited for Andy Ruiz versus Chris Arreola. I mean, on paper, there really is no reason to be excited for Andy Ruiz versus Chris Arreola. You have one guy who was just the man in the heavyweight division, or one of the men in the heavyweight division, sitting at the top in Andy Ruiz after he dethroned Anthony Joshua on that fateful night, June the 1st, 2019. You know, and he lost the title recently. You know, he's one of the top heavyweights out there, Andy Ruiz, one of the top 3 to 5 heavyweights in the world. And then you have a guy that was kind of like Andy Ruiz before Andy Ruiz, Chris Arreola, who has seen much better days. But his last fight was in 2019, and it was probably one of the best fights of his career when he fought Adam Kanaki, and they threw a record for heavyweight punch. They broke some sort of record for most punches thrown in a heavyweight fight. I don't remember the exact record, but they broke some sort of record for most punches thrown. And he gave a good account of himself when he fell short against Adam Kanaki. But the reality is this: Arreola has been in there with so many people. Wilder, Vitaly Klitschko, Stavern twice, Adam Kaunaki, and the list goes on and on and on. He's taken some brutal beatings in his time. So, what could we really expect from this fight? Will it be a competitive fight? I have no idea. But the one thing I do know is that Chris Arreola is going to come to fight, and Andy Ruiz Jr. is going to come to fight, and particularly from the Andy Ruiz Jr. side of things. This is a really important fight for his career, because this is his first fight with, you know, a guy right now in boxing that seems to be sprinkling pixie dust on every fighter. He has the Midas touch right now when it comes to his fighters. Every fighter he's touched over the last three years or so has turned to gold, and that's Eddie Reynoso. You know, he's got that Midas touch right now, and you know, we've seen these little training clips of Andy Ruiz in the gym where he's moving and slipping and just looking real different in the ring, just looking real different with the head movement and the foot feints, and getting people very excited. His quads are like this damn big now, so people are getting very excited at the prospects of what Andy Ruiz Jr. could be on May the 1st and moving forward in the heavyweight division. So I like this fight, and I'm not mad at it because of the fact that Andy Ruiz hasn't fought since December of 2019, so he's had a lot of inactivity. And on top of that, this is his first fight, Eddie Reynoso, and I'm sure they're gonna want to try some things out. And Arreola is the kind of guy that, even though he's not the best, he's not the fastest heavyweight in the world, he's not the hardest hitter, he's not the most technically sound fighter. One thing we can say about Arreola, if we can't say nothing about Arreola, we can say 2 things. No matter what, he always comes to fight, and he could take a good beating. He could really take a good beating. Chris Arreola, I mean, very tough, very durable. So Andy Ruiz, whether you like him or not, whether you like this fight or not, Andy Ruiz Jr. is gonna have to show that extra bit of quality to get this guy out of there. He's not just gonna go in there, hit him one time, and he's gonna fall down. No, Arreola is gonna take some shots. He's gonna give some back, and he's gonna be prepared to win. And look, these guys are very familiar with each other. You know, they just had their press conference this week for the fight, and they were talking about a lot of their sparring stories and stuff. And so they're former sparring partners. They know each other very well, and they're very similar in terms of the beginning of their careers. And what, you know, like before there was an Andy Ruiz, he was supposed to be Andy Ruiz, but now he's the guy that he was supposed to become, and now he's coming for what he has. And what he has, Andy Ruiz, he's got the status as being the only Mexican heavyweight champion ever. He has a status of being one of the top heavyweights in the world. And if the stars align, right, and somehow this guy beats this guy, then this guy's career is still alive, and this guy's in line for some big fights, and then this guy's going to have a lot of questions to answer if he loses to Chris Arreola. So, we'll see what happens, man, but I'm looking forward to it. I want to see what the new Andy Ruiz looks like. I think at his best, if he could be the guy that he was for that first Joshua fight on a consistent basis, or even better than that, because I think Eddie Reynoso is capable of getting him better than that. Eddie Reynoso has a way about himself to where, a lot of trainers in boxing, they train their fighters one style to fight, and it's like a one-size-fits-all philosophy. Where Reynoso is not like that. Reynoso identifies what is the fighter's strengths, and he makes sure that he trains his fighters to build upon those in camp. So, for example, with Canelo, obviously, Canelo Alvarez, the head movement, the counterpunching, and that's what they work on. And they add things here and there, but like Canelo Alvarez, his head movement, his footwork, his foot feints, they make Canelo fight in a way to where he can control his opponent and fight at the pace he wants to fight at, because that's very much the kind of fighter he is. Canelo's not the kind of guy to put pace on you. He can now at this stage of his career, but early in his career he couldn't do that. Oscar Valdez, same thing. Oscar Valdez came to Reynoso looking for a coach that could teach him more of the technical side of boxing while still maintaining the things that still make Oscar Valdez, Oscar Valdez. And we saw that all come together starting in the summer of 2019, and then it culminated when he knocked out Miguel Berchelt, going backwards in what will more than likely be the knockout of the year in 2021. And it's the same thing with Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz has that. He's got that torso power. Shout out to my man Graham Bird, aka GMB Catastrophes. He talked about that a year ago on one of our lives. He said, Andy Ruiz has a long torso. He's got that torso power. He's very explosive. He's very compact. And it looks like Eddie Reynoso is working on making his body more compact, taking what's already dangerous about Andy Ruiz and making it more dangerous. He's short and compact. He's making him even more compact by working on the legs, by working on the footwork, by working on the quads, so that when he gets in those close quarters and he goes to throw his hands, he can go in there to be the explosive, destructive, powerful Mexican heavyweight force that he is. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm not even gonna lie to you. The undercard isn't that bad. They got Jesus Ramos, who's a good welterweight prospect. I like this kid a lot. I think he's going to be someone to deal with, and as these upcoming years develop, remember that name if you don't know it already. Jesus Ramos. He's taking on a Javier Molina, who in his last fight he lost to Jose Pedraza, but before that he was coming off a win against Amir Imam, which is a good win on the Fury Wilder undercard. So not a bad fight there. Fundora versus Jorge Cota. That is guaranteed action because Fundora throws lots of punches. Cota comes to fight. You got Figueroa versus Abel Ramos. I don't know what to expect from that one, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna order. I'm not planning on ordering this on pay-per-view. But I'm thinking about going. I'm thinking about going to this fight. So what I want you guys to do, especially if you're in the California area and you want me to go to this fight, yes or no? Should True School Sports, Brendan Taylor, and the Untouchable, should I go to this fight and do a vlog and go out there and mix with the people of California, because this fight will be in California. So would you want BT to come to California? Because I've been down to go to California, and this Andy Ruiz fighting again is enough of an excuse to go to California. So let me know in the comments if you want me to go to California and watch this fight and do a vlog. Make sure you take that time to subscribe. Give me your thoughts on the matchup. If you like it, if you don't like it, just anything regarding Ruiz, Arreola, drop it in the comments down below. Smash that like button. Take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.